Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay.
Frisco 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie. He was black. He's standing out on the track right now.
He's standing on the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on and John.
Okay, what did he stab your friend with?
I don't know. My friend's bleeding everywhere.
Okay. Where was he stabbed at?
The chest.
Okay. And do you still see the person that stabbed him, or did he leave?
It was Austin. Austin got stabbed in the chest. I'm sorry, what did you say?
The person that stabbed him, is he still there? Do you still see him?
There's adults on him, I think. Yeah.
There's adults that are trying to keep him there?
Know who he is. Sorry, what?
The person that stabbed your friend, is he still there?
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay, and
He's with the coach.
There's a coach with him?
Yes, he's with. People got him.
Okay. Do you know if he still has the weapon on him?
No clue, but he's like he can't do nothing. He's done.
What do you mean?
He stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. What?
What do you mean he can't do anything? What's going on with him?
Coaches have him. He can't hurt anyone.
Okay, when you say they have him, are they physically holding him down?
No, they're just holding him, walking around.
Okay.
Okay.
He was under our team. Austin tried to make a move.
Okay. What's your name?
Nathan Nordyke.
What's your last name? Nathan.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your last name?
Nordyke.
Okay. And do you see any of the responders there yet?
We hear the sirens, but
the
coaches sent us out. We're all walking to our buses.
Okay. So you're going to get on a bus right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the rest of the students are walking towards the buses?
Yeah, everyone's being evacuated out the stadium.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being quick.
Okay. Just follow whatever directions you're being provided by either the officers or by your coaches, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect with you, Nathan, but we've got all kinds of help headed that way.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
At this point, dispatch really doesn't know that much. They know someone's been stabbed. They know it happened at David Kuykendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas. They know the victim is still there, and they have a description of someone officers need to find. That's about it. One thing you'll notice is how quickly dispatch asks for a suspect description. I've heard people ask over the years why dispatch worries about the suspect when somebody is lying there on the ground bleeding. The answer is because two different emergencies are happening at the same time. Firefighters and paramedics are trying to get to the location where the victim is, while police officers are trying to find the person who caused the injury. Those officers are already driving. Every answer dispatch gets can be broadcast while they're still responding. Sometimes that means the difference between finding someone a block away or not finding them at all. Most people don't realize dispatchers are usually doing several things at one time. They're talking to the caller, updating officers over the radio, entering notes into the system, and making sure fire and EMS are headed to the right place. And doing all that while the incident is still unfolding. I've taken calls like this for 26 years. One thing I've learned is the first caller almost never has the whole story. They're usually calling about one thing they just witnessed. Sometimes the second caller fills in another piece. Sometimes it takes 10 callers before the entire picture starts to come together. This next caller isn't just reporting what happened. He's trying to save a 17-year-old boy's life.
Person, what's from the case of emergency?
I need paramedics at Kirkendall Stadium right away.
Okay, what's going on?
I have an athlete that was stabbed.
He was stabbed?
Yes.
Okay, where's the person who stabbed him?
I don't know.
Okay, where in the stadium is he?
We are on the visitor side bleachers. We have Army veteran that's trying to keep compression on the wound.
Okay. Are you with him now?
He is laying here.
How old is he?
Starting to go unconscious.
How old is he?
High school age, so maybe 15, 16, 17.
Okay. Is he awake?
No, he's going unconscious.
Okay. Is he breathing?
Not right now.
Breathing.
No, he's not.
He's not breathing at all?
No.
Okay. Where was he stabbed at?
In his chest.
Okay. I've got them coming, okay? Stay on the phone with me, all right?
Okay.
Is the assailant still nearby?
Okay. I'm here.
Is the assailant still nearby?
Stay with me, Austin.
Hey,
Is he
sir,
breathing? Yes, ma'am.
is the assailant still nearby?
Is what nearby?
The assailant, the person who stabbed him.
We have no idea.
Okay.
Everybody took off sprinting afterwards.
Okay. Is there any
were some
serious
students around
bleeding?
that probably would know.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of blood. He's not
Okay.
breathing.
Okay. Did anyone see what he looked like at all?
The assailant, I'm sure that some students know, but everybody has been removed from the scene.
Okay. All right, just stay on the phone with me, okay? Because you're right there with him. I'm sending paramedics to help you now. Stay on line to exactly what to do next. Is the knife still inside of his chest?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm keeping you on the phone, okay, like I said. I'm going to tell you to stop the bleeding. Listen carefully to make sure we do it right, okay?
Okay.
Get a clean, dry cloth or towel and tell me when you have it.
Hey, we need a clean, dry cloth or towel. We need a dry cloth or towel. We have an AED here.
Okay, we want to get this bleeding stopped if we can. Is he breathing at all right now?
We need the bleeding stopped. Dry cloth or towel. I'm on the phone.
Okay. Is he breathing?
He is not.
Okay, listen carefully. Lay him flat on his back on the floor or ground and remove anything under his head.
Everything where?
He said flat on his back, nothing under his
He's
head.
breathing right now.
He's breathing?
This time, he's breathing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, do you have a towel
We got an
for
AED
it?
connected. I'm sorry?
Do you have something that we can use to control the bleeding?
Yes, we have like sweatpants that
Okay,
have
that's
pressing
perfect.
on his chest.
Place it right on the wound and press down firmly. Do not lift up to
Press
look.
down firm.
It's going to hurt,
Keep
but you got to
pressing down.
push, okay?
Oh,
We
yes,
gotta keep
they
that
just removed
pressure
for... Okay.
And don't take it off, okay?
Okay, he only took it off because it just advised the shock, so we did a shock to his chest.
Okay.
There you go, Austin.
He's trying.
Are there any officers there with you yet?
They, I think they have the assailant. There's some coaches pinning him down.
Okay, where are they at?
They are really close to where the victim is. They're like 5 yards away on the track. There's some police here.
Okay, well, have them down, please, and show them where the assailant is, okay? What's your name?
Hey, that police officer needs to come down here.
What's your name?
Robert there.
Okay, let me know when the officer's with you. I'm not hanging up until he's with you, okay?
Okay.
What is the person that you think is the assailant? What do they look like?
Hey, was that the kid that? Hey, that wasn't him? Somebody else?
That wasn't him?
Centennial kid? No, it was a kid from another school. They know the kid.
Okay, so he's not the one who stabbed, though?
No, the other kid I think was just freaking out, and they were just trying to contain him.
Okay.
Give me a breath, Austin. Give me a breath, Austin. Give me a breath, Austin. You're doing good.
Let me know when they're with you, okay? Like I said, I'm not disconnected until they're with you. Let me know if you stop the breathing, okay?
I heard that breath.
Okay.
Come on, Austin. Come on, Austin. That's it. Come on, baby. Come on, you got this. You got this. Come on.
Okay, we got the suspect, okay? So you guys just focus on him, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Come on. Every once in a while, there's a break. He's here. Come on. Come on. Come on.
I'm going to keep you with me, okay, until they're with you. Is he breathing still?
He's trying, yeah. We're doing compressions and giving him mouth to mouth.
Okay.
Come on. Come on.
Hey, they're doing CPR on him.
Keep going. Fight through. Fight through.
Okay, just keep going, okay?
Come on.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on.
The medics are coming as fast as they can. Just keep me updated, okay?
Come on.
Yes, ma'am.
Fight through, baby. Fight through, Austin. Come on. Oh, you're doing good, Austin.
All right,
You're doing good. Hands off.
Yes, their hands off, advising a shock.
Okay. Do they still have that, the sweatpants over the stab wound, too, to keep it from bleeding?
They have some dry cloths over it right now, and then they're putting the sweats on top here and the compressions.
Perfect.
Come on.
Did it shock him again or no?
Yeah, it didn't advise.
Okay.
Come on, Austin.
All right, tell them to do really good, okay? Just keep going for me. If they need to switch out, make sure they do, okay? If they get tired, we're going to switch,
They are, yes.
okay?
They have.
Perfect.
Yep. EMS has just arrived. They're walking on the scene.
Okay, let me know when they're with you, okay?
Okay. They're walking over here right now.
Come on, Austin. Push through.
You did really good.
EMS here. Walk it up. Come on.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You did really good.
Push through.
Thanks.
Are they with you?
It was,
Come on.
They're about 15 yards away. They're walking.
Come on, right?
Go ahead, Engine 1.
Okay, they're walking up to us right now.
Okay, I'll let you go. Good job, Robert.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
One thing that stood out to me on that call is how calm the caller sounds. That doesn't mean he isn't worried, and it doesn't mean he isn't scared. It means he has something to focus on. I've taken calls from military medics, firefighters, nurses, and off-duty police officers, and they often sound very similar. The brain skips past panic and goes straight to the problem. What do I need to do? What information does dispatch need? How do I keep this person alive until help gets here? Those callers are worth their weight in gold. They're still scared, they just channel it differently. Unfortunately, on a stab wound to the chest, there's only so much dispatch can do over the phone. You keep the airway open, try to control the bleeding if possible, follow the instructions, then hope paramedics get there in time. By now, officers are arriving from several different locations. Paramedics are also arriving. None of them know exactly what they're getting into. They know there's been a stabbing. They have a suspect description. That's it. If you haven't already figured it out, this is the Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony case. For more than a year, just about everyone has had an opinion on this case. I'm not going to spend much time on opinions. I want to spend our time on the evidence. The 911 calls, the surveillance cameras, the body-worn cameras, the photographs released after the trial, and the testimony jurors heard from people who were actually standing there. One thing I wish we had, and we simply don't, is video from inside the courtroom. The judge didn't allow cameras or audio recordings during the trial. Personally, I think it would have answered a lot of people's questions that they still have. Instead, we have to build the timeline the same way the jurors did, one piece at a time. Let's start with the surveillance cameras. When I first downloaded all of the footage, I honestly expected it to answer almost every question. It doesn't. And that's not because someone's hiding anything, it's because where the cameras are mounted. They're on the opposite side of an entire football stadium. The wide shots actually look pretty good. You can clearly see the football field, the running track, the bleachers, and the tents where students from different schools had gathered before their events. The problem starts when you zoom in. People stop looking like people. They become blurry figures moving around beneath one small tent, hundreds of feet away. That's frustrating because everybody wants the surveillance video to answer every question. It can't. What it can do is establish a timeline. One of the cameras captures Austin Metcalf entering the stadium. Austin was 17 years old and attended Memorial High School. At this point, nothing seems unusual. He's walking through the stadium just like every other student that was there. If somebody showed you this video without any context, you'd never think anything important was about to happen. Austin makes his way towards the Memorial Team tent. I was curious how long he actually had been there before everything happened, so I went back and timed it. Right around 6.5 minutes. About 4 minutes after Austin arrived, another student enters the same area, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, a student at Centennial High School. Again, nothing necessarily seems out of place. There's no running, no obvious argument, no crowd gathering. Just another student walking towards one of the team tents. Anthony remains there for roughly 2 minutes. Then everything changes. Now, before I play this next section, I want to point something out. I've watched this clip more times than I can count over the past few days. Even knowing exactly where to look, I still catch myself replaying it. Not because it's confusing, because it happens that fast. Let's watch it this time at normal speed. If you blinked, you probably missed it. I know I did the first time I watched it. Now let's go back and watch it again. This time, don't watch the entire screen. Just watch the area beneath the Memorial Team tent. And let's watch it one more time. Now that you've watched it a few times, you may understand why it generated so many different opinions. The camera tells us something happened. It just doesn't tell every detail. That's where witness testimony became so important during the trial. One thing I was curious about was exactly how quickly all this happened. So I went back and timed it several times. From the moment you first see movement towards Anthony until the moment he turns and heads up the bleachers, it's right around 1 second. Maybe a little bit over, but no more than 1.25 seconds. Either way, we're talking about an incredibly short amount of time. Several witnesses later testified they saw Anthony with one hand already inside his backpack before any physical contact took place. I can't independently verify that from the surveillance video because, honestly, the quality just isn't good enough. But it does help explain why everything appears to happen almost instantly. If someone already had their hand inside a backpack and knows exactly what they're reaching for, it doesn't take long. Something else I noticed happens immediately. Several students start running after Anthony. Then, almost as quickly, they stop and turn back towards Austin. That tells me they realized something was seriously wrong. At that point, they weren't trying to catch somebody anymore. They were trying to help their friend. Anthony continues away from the bleachers towards the football field. He doesn't leave the stadium. Instead, he's met by one of the coaches near the edge of the field. Unfortunately, we don't have video or audio of that conversation. What we do have is the testimony from the coach. According to that testimony, Anthony admitted he had stabbed Austin and also told the coach he didn't think Austin was going to die. The coach remained with him until officers arrived a short time later. Now we're about to switch from that silent surveillance video to body-worn camera footage. This is where things begin happening in real time again, and unlike the surveillance video, we can hear exactly what's being said. One thing I've always liked about body-worn cameras is that they don't care about opinions. They don't know what's going to happen in court. They don't know what's going to be argued months later. They're simply recording what officers are seeing and hearing in that moment. Let's watch that first body-worn camera.
Hold on.
And I'm just protecting myself.
Where do you want me?
If somebody is shooting the victim, they need to be over there.
North end under a memorial pen.
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me.
Right there.
Dispatch 443, I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right, any weapons on you like that? Come on. I'll go up here.
How long? He put his hands up. I know I'm not.
4-4, copy, I'll be en route.
Help me, y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Go over here.
447,
I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch It's 4:43. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspect detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then you come to the victim from there.
Received.
This is the alleged suspect. All right, bye.
One of the first things that caught my attention wasn't something the officer said. It was something that Anthony volunteered. As the officer radios dispatch and says he's out with the alleged suspect, Anthony immediately interrupts him. I'm not alleged. I did it. That's an important statement. At this point, Anthony isn't denying he stabbed Austin. That isn't the issue anymore. The question that would eventually end up in front of a jury wasn't whether he did it. It was whether he was legally justified in doing it. You'll also hear Anthony repeatedly saying something else. I told him, don't put your hands on me. Listen for that as this body camera continues.
Okay. We'll figure that in. So nothing on your person at all?
No, sir.
Nothing?
No, sir.
Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing gonna stab me?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm gonna be out with
My phone.
Racing.
I'm gonna get a little personal there, okay? Just to make sure.
My car's right there.
Okay. Yeah.
You want me to get up now?
Go on. All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics.
I think he was analyzing.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Right. Already? No. Already searched them. Got nothing on him.
I don't know what happened.
423. Checkers everything about CPR progress for a little bit. Racing. You sure that's the wrong thing? Racing.
Come on, side over here or which side? It's up to you. It's up to you.
That's fine. This is closer.
Okay. Let me do one more little check of you, okay?
Yes, sir.
You don't mind if I reach in your pockets, anything like that? You good?
You can.
Well, you're just wearing this one pair of pants?
No, man. I'm wearing some little under.
Oh, yeah. But did it have
Like,
pockets?
no, ma'am, I don't think so.
Okay.
What's your name, man?
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
430, you show me out.
Okay.
Racing.
Check one more time on this side. Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
402, I'm on scene.
So your first name is Karmelo?
Yes, sir. Karmelo.
Let's see, hold on one second.
Is he gonna be okay?
I don't know yet, man. Karmelo, C-A-R-A.
K-A-R.
K-A-R.
M-E-L-O.
M-E-L-O, Karmelo. What's your last name?
Anthony.
A-N-T-H.
O-N-Y.
O-N-Y. Where are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
10th grade? You go to Emerson?
No, sir.
Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
I'm in 12th grade.
12th grade?
Yes, sir.
Okay. North Centennial. All right, sit tight for me real quick, bud, all right? Let me run this guy real quick.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him at all.
One thing I noticed after watching this several times is how quickly Anthony's emotions change. One moment, he's crying and sobbing loudly, almost to the point it's difficult to understand what he's saying. And just a few seconds later, he's calm. He's answering questions normally. He's spelling out his name, telling them what school he attends. People respond to traumatic events differently. I've heard just about every reaction you can imagine over the years. Some people never cry. And then some other people can't stop crying. Others become completely silent. And then some have a motor mouth and they just can't stop talking. So I'm not going to pretend why Anthony's emotions changed that quickly. I simply noticed it because the change happens in a matter of seconds. Something else stood out to me, and it's probably worth pointing out because it became part of the discussion after the trial. Anthony repeatedly says, I told him not to put his hands on me. Notice the word he uses. Him. Not them. Not those guys. Just him. I'm not telling you what that means. I'm simply pointing out what Anthony himself said only minutes after the incident, while everything was still fresh. There's also a second body-worn camera from another officer. It's much shorter, but the audio is actually a bit clearer. You can hear Anthony's statement, I'm not alleged, I did it, even more clearly.
It's the alleged suspect.
Okay. I am. No, I'm not. I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. I did.
Okay. We'll be there in a minute.
By this point, Anthony's been taken into custody without incident. Officers now know who they're dealing with. They know the suspect isn't going anywhere, and their attention shifts back to the scene where firefighters and paramedics are still working on Austin. One thing sometimes people don't realize is that these investigations begin almost immediately. While one group of officers is securing the suspect, another group is identifying witnesses. Others are protecting evidence. Detectives are already being notified. And even before anyone knows exactly how this case is going to end, the investigation is already underway. At this point, there isn't that much disagreement about one thing. Austin Metcalf had been stabbed. Anthony admitted to stabbing him. The surveillance captured the confrontation, even if it couldn't clearly show every detail. Now the questions become different. How did it happen so quickly? What exactly did the witnesses see? And what did the physical evidence tell investigators that the cameras couldn't? That's where we're headed next. One question kept coming back to me while putting this episode together. How did everything happen so quickly? The surveillance video only gives us part of the answer. It shows movement towards Anthony, movement back the other way, then Anthony leaving the tent area. What it can't clearly show is what each person's hands are doing. That's where the testimony from people standing only a few feet away became very important. As I've said before, several witnesses testified that they saw Anthony with one hand already inside his backpack before any physical contact occurred. Again, I can't independently verify that because the video was too blurry, but if that testimony is accurate, it helps explain why the entire confrontation appears to happen in about a second. That also brings us to the knife itself. During the trial, jurors were shown the knife investigators recovered after the stabbing. It's an Ozark Trail folding knife, a brand sold exclusively through Walmart. They're inexpensive knives. If it's the same model I found, they sell it for around $10, give or take. The blade measures approximately 3.5 inches long. One of the things jurors watched during the trial was a demonstration showing how quickly a folding knife like this could be opened. I don't have the exact knife used in this case, but I do have several knives that operate the same way. I wanted to see for myself. Cheaper folding knives like that, they open a little bit slower. Their action isn't quite as good, and they're usually not greased up as well. So the knife that I have, and I carry with me usually, it's going to be a little bit faster on the opening and probably more easy to open in general. And I'll show you one more time. While the opening of that knife was very fast, imagine trying to do that inside of a backpack. Because of that and the time that went by, I believe he already had the knife open inside the backpack. And you have to remember, from the very first motion to the retaliation and one person turning to run away, that happened in a little over 1 second. To put that in context for you, someone pushing the other person already has their hand inside the bag, they draw a knife, they may or may not have opened it, and they stab the other person in the chest with enough force that it was a pretty deep cut, and then he turns to run away. All of that in around a second. Another thing that caught my attention while I was reviewing some of the medical examiner's testimony, I've seen several comments online asking why a 3.5-inch knife could leave what was described as a 2-inch wound. The answer is because those two measurements aren't describing the same thing. The 3.5 inches refers to the length of the blade. The 2 inches refers to the width of the wound at the skin. Those aren't contradictory measurements. They're measuring two completely different things. Instead of showing the actual injury photograph that was admitted into evidence, I think the medical examiner's diagram explains it much better. The medical examiner said that Austin suffered a single stab wound to the chest. Despite the efforts of the people that were immediately there, along with firefighters and paramedics who arrived moments later, that injury ultimately proved to be fatal. At this point in the trial, there really wasn't much disagreement about what happened. Austin had been stabbed. Anthony admitted to stabbing him. The issue jurors still had to decide was whether the stabbing was legally justified under Texas law. To answer that question, they turned to the witnesses. Unlike the surveillance camera mounted across the stadium, these witnesses were standing just a couple feet away. One witness said that Anthony had been told he was in the wrong tent and needed to leave. Several other witnesses described Austin making physical contact with Anthony immediately before the stabbing. The exact wording varied a little from witness to witness. That's not unusual. I've listened to enough witnesses over the years to know that 10 people can watch the exact same event and describe it 10 different ways. That doesn't necessarily mean anyone is lying. It usually means they're describing what they personally focused on during a moment that lasted only a second. What remained fairly consistent was that some form of physical contact occurred immediately before the stabbing. One thing I appreciate about the testimony is that it helped fill the gaps left by the video without trying to replace it. The surveillance video establishes the timeline. The witnesses explain what they saw. Together, they give a much clearer picture than either one could by itself. As the testimony continued, jurors also heard from investigators who documented the scene, collected the physical evidence, and reconstructed the timeline using the videos. By the end of the trial, the jurors had been spending days looking through the same pieces of evidence that we've been looking at here. The 911 calls, the surveillance footage, the body-worn cameras, the physical evidence, and the testimony from the people who witnessed it firsthand. Now they had to make a decision. By the time both sides had presented all of their evidence, the jury had spent days looking at it. When it was all over, the jury rejected Anthony's claim of self-defense and found him guilty of murder. The judge later sentenced him to 35 years in prison. Some comments I've seen online is that he'll be automatically released after serving half of that sentence. That's not how parole works. Becoming eligible for parole simply means a parole board can begin considering whether someone should be released. It doesn't guarantee anything. As of the time I'm recording this episode, Anthony has also filed notice that he intends to appeal his conviction. That's not unusual in a murder case. Appeals are fairly common, especially in cases that receive this much attention. When an appeal is filed, it doesn't mean the trial starts all over again. The appellate court isn't deciding whether they think Anthony is guilty or innocent. They're looking for legal errors that may have occurred during the trial itself. That process can take months, in some cases, up to years. One thing I heard while listening to a former judge talk about this case, it really stuck with me. He asked a simple question. If Karmelo Anthony had pulled out a handgun instead of a folding knife, would people be looking at this case the same way? It's an interesting question because, under Texas law, both can qualify as deadly weapons. In fact, one legal definition describes a deadly weapon as anything by the manner of its use or intended use is capable of causing serious bodily harm or death. This case is a reminder that a knife can be every bit as deadly as a gun. Austin suffered a single stab wound. One wound. And despite all the help from people around him, despite the CPR and the firefighters and paramedics arriving within minutes, he didn't survive. That's not an opinion. That's simply what happened. Something I tried very hard to do in this episode was stay away from all the outside noise. Over the past year, this case has generated thousands of opinions. Social media has certainly had plenty to say. Television has had plenty to say. And depending on where you looked, you could probably find someone arguing almost every possible angle of this. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to go back to the beginning and simply walk through the evidence. The 911 calls, the stadium cameras, and the body-worn cameras, along with all the physical evidence past that. Not because one piece tells the whole story, but because together they paint a much clearer picture than any single headline ever could. And that's where we're going to end this one. As always, follow the show on all social media. They're linked down below. If you want some ad-free episodes and bonus content, head over to patreon.com/MusicCity901. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. That way you can get all the episodes. Until next time, for Music City 901, I'm Brandon, and y'all have a good one.